Welcome to today's lesson. We're going to be talking about scoring the emotional point of view. Music tells the audience what to feel, but it can also tell them who or what to feel for, depending on the emotional point of view that you score from. For example, maybe there's a scene between a husband and a wife arguing. There are many different emotional points of view in this scenario that the music could follow. The music could follow the emotional feelings of the mom in the scene, who is devastated and sorrowful from the beginning of the conversation. And so the music could be devastating and sorrowful from the beginning of the conversation too. The music could follow the dad's feelings, who starts the conversation off in a more indifferent way but grows in passion. The scene could be scored from the perspective of the small child in the other room who's confused and scared. And the music could be confused and scared music. Or the music could just kind of blanket the entire scene in sad music to communicate a broad notion to the audience that this family is in a sad state of affairs, but you're not focusing in on anyone's feelings in particular. What emotional point of view you choose to follow affects the audience's perspective of the scene and bonds the listener with the character whose point of view the music follows. Let's talk about what you might call the inner point of view, or the point of view of a specific character. In the Steven Spielberg film, The Terminal, our main character, Victor Navorsky, is from an Eastern European country, and he's stranded in the United States. While he's on the plane, there's a military coup in his country, and he's stuck in the US. But he also doesn't speak English, and he has no idea that this has happened. Now, we, as the audience, find out about this sad state of affairs in his homeland way before he does. Other characters are even trying to explain these sad things that have happened to him. But he has no understanding of this. It doesn't click with him. And now, interestingly, this film doesn't start with music. And there's no music in the film until the moment where Victor Navorsky understands what's going on, and where he is shaken, where he is moved by what's happening in his country when he sees it up on a TV screen in the airport. And this works in a very powerful way.
Have been taken hostage. We're also hearing now that the vice president has been killed, along with 4 cabinet members, 13 injured soldiers, and 2 civilians. By dawn, rebel leaders had surrounded the state houses. In a symbolic gesture, the national flag of Krakosia was torn down as the presidential palace and the parliament building.
The music could have been placed earlier when other characters are talking about what happened, and it could maybe help us feel pity for our main character, Victor. But because the music holds off until the moment when Victor starts to feel, it really puts us into the feelings of Victor and doesn't just make us feel for him, but make us feel with him. So this inner point of view approach is a more personal approach. It's kind of like zooming in emotionally to get inside the head and heart of a specific person, not just to feel about them or for them, but like I said, to feel with them, to truly empathize with that person. A scene can also be scored from what you might call the outer point of view, which is, let's say, the audience's perspective. This approach is less personal, but better for getting emotional perspective, like big, broad perspective. It's like zooming out emotionally. In this scene from The Fellowship of the Ring, the music is not crafted to follow the feelings of any particular character's point of view, but it takes what you might call this outside or a transcendent point of view. It covers the scene in a mood, almost like a blanket. And in this scene, it's almost like a music video, in fact. There's not even dialogue or location sound. This approach is more impersonal and does not lead me to care more or feel more for any of the individual characters. But it does remind me that there is a broader purpose of the fellowship that transcends individual people. And I end up caring about this purpose more, and I'm reminded about, this is this epic quest. So this outer point of view approach is very appropriate for a film like Lord of the Rings, where it's used often, which is all about big ideals and big stakes that are bigger than the story of just any individual's emotions in the film. Although the film does track at points the emotions of individual characters. You do not need to use only one approach. On a film, you may find that in some scenes you need to zoom out emotionally to emphasize the broader emotional point of the story. And for some scenes, you may zoom in emotionally and feel alongside a character the audience is supposed to connect with. But like always, talk with a director about which emotional perspectives to follow. So here's your assignment. Next time you watch a film, try to conscientiously note the emotional point of view that the music is following and the music is emphasizing, and see what you learn from that.